Welcome to the DC Animated Movie Show, a YouTube series and podcast for the prestigious ongoing catalog of DC animated movies. I am your host, Benjamin David. Tonight we are live on our YouTube channel, Above and Batman Beyond, and the audio from tonight's episode will also be on our DC Animated Movie Show podcast, so be sure to subscribe to both. So tonight, 7 April, calendar year 2021, we react to a new trailer, a new DC Animated Movie trailer, and that is Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1. The official exclusive trailer dropped on IGN yesterday, April 6th, and we are here with reactions. We are here with questions. We are here with answers and polls from our Q&A on Instagram. Please follow us. If you don't already, we are at Batman Beyond Media. Since we are live here on YouTube, if you're joining us in chat, please feel free to drop some Q's and A's as well. Your own thoughts on the Long Halloween trailer or any other questions and comments on DC animated movies. As always, we love to hear what you guys think as much as we love to hear Benjamin talk. So before we jump into it, if you're new here at the channel, please consider subscribing on YouTube. Click that notification bell so you don't miss any of our new content. And for the podcast listeners, please subscribe to the pod. Just like the vid series, we are a DC Animated Movie Show. You can find the podcast on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Again, this particular episode is available in both audio and video form, so you get to pick your poison for today's show. But again, please subscribe to both, since there's plenty of YouTube stuff you're obviously not going to find on the podcast, and vice versa. And finally, follow us on Instagram. We are at DC Animated Movie Show, and follow the YouTube channel as well. We are at Batman Beyond Media. All right, Gotham, I believe in this trailer. So let's talk about it. You like that transition? You like that? Anybody? No, nobody's on chat. Oh, we do have a thumbs up, though. Look at us. All right, so for those of us, once again, joining us live on YouTube, thank you for your patience. Thank you for that thumbs up. Please feel free to drop us a question anytime or let us know what you think of the new Long Halloween trailer. So what we're going to do is go through our IG polls and Q&A, during which time I'll also give you my own thoughts on the trailer. Then after the Q&A, I'm going to do some trailer commentary, playing the trailer live here in the podcast and reacting throughout. I have seen the trailer several times already, full disclosure, but this is always fun to do on the podcast. So some quick IMDb/IGN trivia on Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1. The film is written by Tim Sheridan. It's directed by Chris Palmer, who previously collaborated on 2020's Superman: Man of Tomorrow. Producers are Jim Krieg, who also produced Batman: Gotham by Gaslight. He produced a bunch of stuff. He's producing JS World War II that's coming, our next DCAM to come. And he also produced Batman: Soul of the Dragon. Kimberly S. Moreau of Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, one of my favorite movies of all time, not just Batman movies, not just animated movies of all time. Butch Lukic, I can never say that right the first time, from Represent Batman Beyond, producer of Batman Beyond and used to work on Batman Beyond, is a supervising producer. I'm not sure if he used to produce Beyond, don't quote me on that, but he worked on Batman Beyond back in the day. Executive producer is Michael Uslan, Sam Register, executive producer. So, of course, The Long Halloween, originally published, this is again from IGN, originally published as a 13-issue limited series in 1996, written by Jeff Loeb and illustrated by Tim Sale. The iconic Tim Sale art style is set shortly after the events of Batman Year One, in a time, so it's like a younger Batman, when most of the Batman's major rogues have been established, but Robin has yet to join the Caped Crusader. So yeah, it's like a very early Batman, so that's pretty cool. Not very early, because again, it's after Year One, but it's an interesting time. That's just some quick background on both the movie and the story of Batman: Long Halloween, in case you're not familiar. But yeah, man, and then also to jump into the voice cast, this is pretty interesting. So returning from Batman Under the Red Hood himself, Jensen Ackles is Batman. Naya Rivera is Catwoman. Josh Duhamel is Two-Face. Billy Burke is James Gordon. I'm going to go through these fast. Titus Welliver is Carmine Falcone. David Dastmalchian as Calendar Man. Troy Baker is Joker. Troy Baker is Joker for the millionth time. Andy Landecker is Barbara Gordon. I love that actress, Andy Landecker. Julie Nathanson is Gilda Dent. Jack Quaid is Alberto Falcone. Fred Tatasciore as Solomon Grundy. And Alistair Duncan as Alfred Pennyworth. So again, Jensen Ackles is Batman. That speaks for itself. Under the Red Hood coming back. Not sure how I feel. We'll get into that, I guess, about his voice as Batman here, but he did a great Red Hood, so we'll see how that goes. Naya Rivera sadly died. This was her last performance, actually, and like tragically died. She was a younger woman, very active. I think had kids. Real tragic. So she's Catwoman. Josh Duhamel is Two-Face. Don't know who that is. Not sure who Billy Burke as Jim Gordon or Titus Welliver as Carmine Falcone. But David Dastmalchian he was in Dark Knight. He was in, Blade Runner 2049. He was in Ant-Man and the Wasp. He's all over geek content cinema. Troy Baker is the Joker. We're going to get into this, but not very excited. Number one, that he's coming back. And it's not that I'm excited. It's not that I'm not excited that he's coming back. It's that I almost knew right away that it's like, please don't have him do a Mark Hamill impression. He's really good at that. He does a perfect Mark Hamill Joker, but it's Mark Hamill Joker. This sounds like more of that. But it is what it is. It's what we're getting. Amy Landecker is Barbara Gordon. Amy Landecker is an incredible actress. She was in that show Transparent. She was in she's in so much good stuff. She was on the show Louie back in the day. She's been on a bunch of stuff. Check out Amy Landecker, who I think will be a good Barbara Gordon. That's in this story. Barbara Gordon is Jim's wife, Jim Gordon's wife, and I think also his niece. But like this is, definitely his niece. But Barbara Gordon in this, just to be clear, that's not Batgirl. Julia Nathanson, don't know who that is, as Gilda Dent. That's going to be Harvey's wife. Jack Quaid is Alberto Falcone. Jack Quaid, my boy from The Boys. I didn't even mean to do that. But yeah, my boy from The Boys. Huey. I actually just rewatched The Boys recently and also just reread Batman Long Halloween today. Read the whole thing when this trailer dropped. Also, there was some news recently of the voice cast that dropped a couple days ago about Jensen Ackles specifically. I think some Jack Quaid news dropped as well. So I was like, all right, I got to read it. And then this trailer dropped, and I was like, all right, I definitely got to read it. Alistair Duncan as Alfred Pennyworth. Not sure who either Fred Tatasciore or Alistair Duncan are, but that's a good voice cast, man. Cannot wait for this. Now, as you can tell, I am pretty excited for this. And we're going to get into this with the Q&A. As I said, I'll give you my thoughts on it kind of as we go, instead of, like initial thoughts. Just because I don't want this. This isn't a full-on review. It's more of a trailer reaction. And then again, because after that, I'm going to give you my thoughts kind of live here in the podcast as we go through the trailer commentary. So, so let's hit your polls. Let's see what you guys had to say. We always start with a poll from Instagram at Batman Beyond Media. Polls, then Q&A. So if you're a fan of Long Halloween, does this trailer excite you? So if you started off as a fan already of the comic, does this trailer excite you? 100% said yes. They're happy with it. Didn't expect that. And we're going to get into why. But yeah, I just did not expect. Comic fans are some of the most vocal. They're some of the most hardcore on the planet, and vocal 100%. So that's cool. This is another poll at Batman Beyond Media. Are you glad this movie is an adaptation, or would you prefer original titles / stories? Another surprise, 86%. 86% said they are glad, over 14% original stories, that they would prefer original stories. I don't know, that kind of surprises me. I hear a lot of people say they'd prefer original stories, that they've adapted a lot of stuff or that the adaptations are never, what maybe you'd expect. New Frontier, which is one of the oldest DCAMs, DC animated movies we've ever gotten, was like the closest to it. Maybe, and then the next one would, of course, be Dark Knight Returns, two-parter, but it's hard, right? So that surprises me a bit, but that's cool that you guys are happy about for this project for sure. All right, so let's hit up a Q and an A. Thoughts on the Long Halloween trailer? Orgasmic. That's from Nahuelito.kun. Hola. Gracias for the respuesta. Or no, that's Italian. Risposta. Respuesto? I don't know how to say response in Espanol, but thank you. From Combo FARR. Epic. Can't wait for one of my favorite books. So that's one of Combo's favorite books. Awesome, man. Well, yeah, or lady. That's awesome. Like, if you're getting your favorite book, we just talked about that with the adaptation thing. That's what's exciting about this. I personally, Hush is one of my all-times, if not my all-time favorite Batman comics next to Ego. And of course, like the DCAU Beyond stuff and animated, Batman animated stuff. But the runner-up for sure is Hush, and I was not happy with that. What is cool though is that, well, we'll get to that. But for the comic fans, I'm glad that people are liking it so far. So now we'll talk about it, because this next question is saying it. So from @Batman_Beyond_fan page, my close friend, Beyond expert and co-host here on the YouTube channel Above and Batman Beyond, Eli said, I'm not a huge Tim Sale fan, but I wish they adapted the comic art style like Public Enemies. So speaking of Jeff Loeb, the writer of Long Halloween, Public Enemies is a book. It's a Batman Superman team up. They actually did as Eli said, an animated adaptation that, in that case, the art is like 1-to-1 from Ed McGuinness, who did the art in the book. Bruce Timm worked on that movie and just did a insanely good adaptation. But as Eli said, I'm not a huge Tim Sale fan. So here's what I keep saying. We'll get to it. Like, I completely agree with this. I'm not a huge Tim Sale fan either. But I do kind of wish that they did that. Here's the other thing, though. I'm in the camp of people that, like I said before, a lot of the adaptations don't necessarily work for me. Maybe they're doing an inspired by, like Batman Gotham by Gaslight. I thought that was great. I don't even like that. That book is like super short and bad. I've leafed through it. Didn't even finish it. And I also heard from most people that it's just not good. So I was like, whatever, I'm not doing this. But the movie I thought was cool, and it also has a twist that I don't want to give away. But like, if you haven't seen it, but the twist I really like that's not from the book. So you can do that fun stuff too. And they also did that with Hush, but really badly. But the thing is with Hush, what disappointed me a lot of that was just from a producerial, if that's a word, standpoint, which is like, why would you not adapt? And I know, look, Jim Lee's art is impossible to like fully adapt, right? But it's Jim Lee's hyper detailed stuff. But to set it in a universe of characters that it's just totally different from like what Jim Lee's art could ever look like. Like, try to do something. Try to do it maybe anime-ish. But the point is with this, I agree. Like, I wish they had tried to do at least the negative space stuff with Tim Sale. I thought would be cool. I think his stuff is so surreal, very exaggerated, long faces, and kind of not realistically human features. Whereas, again, compared to Jim Lee and stuff, you have really hyper detailed stuff. And this is an animation style that's completely different. Like, it's the Superman Man of Tomorrow style. Everyone's pretty sure. And they even say that here in IGN. Which is pretty exciting. It's unknown whether the Long Halloween is meant to take place in the same shared universe as Man of Tomorrow. However, given the creative team, the similar art style, and the fact that the story revolves around a younger, less experienced Batman, that connection certainly seems possible. Yeah, I mean, because it's got like the thick black outlines. It's almost like cell shaded. And then you have a young Superman. You have the JS World War II movie that's coming up that everyone's almost positive it's going to tie in with Superman Man of Tomorrow, because Barry Allen, it says in the description, starts off in Metropolis and then has to like go, and then runs really fast for whatever reason to save somebody or whatever, and then ends up in World War II. So this might be their new universe, because this does look very similar. Here's the thing though. Back to, I don't like Tim Sale's art. That could be in my favor for me personally with this. I didn't like the art in the book, so I love Man of Tomorrow style. I love the thick black outline. I love that they're just going all in on that. Like, look, it's a cartoon. Don't worry about it. I wasn't a fan so much of the anime-inspired Phil Barossa is the guy who did the character designs for that, Young Justice. I should say that being the DC animated movie universe, the 15 films that we just recently got. And in fact, Superman Man of Tomorrow was the first movie, the first non-DCAM, the first non-DC animated movie universe movie to come out, like new art style and everything. And now that we're seeing it's probably its own new universe, which then with JS World War II and the Barry Allen thing, we really might be getting a flashpoint within, because you already have one universe that's done. That ended with Jail Dark Apocalypse War, the DCAM. I wonder if they're going to do that with this. That's crazy. That would be insane if they did that. Both art styles on the same screen. I don't think it's going to happen, but the point is that because I didn't like the Tim Sale style, but I like this, and they're doing a two-parter. It's a long-ass book. Again, I just reread the whole thing today. Like, this is it. You know, it's a 13-part series, so it's not like crazy each book, but the whole story, it's not super short. The thing is that, you know, not a ton of dialogue, right? You get, I mean, for the video viewers, you're seeing these pages, not a ton of dialogue. It's very cinematic, as Jeff Loeb is in his arts or in his writing style, because he started off with film. Like, he wrote the movie Commando, one of my favorite movies of all time. It also was from 1985 when I was born. But yeah, the Schwarzenegger classic, Commando, action classic. Jeff Loeb started off in film, and so like his style is very filmic, which I think is why I like Hush so much. But yeah, and that really comes out in Long Halloween. So I think, look, I mean, the guy can write the hell out of a cinematic story, and Long Halloween certainly is. It's a two-part mob movie, you know, and that's cool, especially with the DC animated movies. It's like typically the running times are shorter. So a longer one, a feature length DCAM is a long DCAM, like an hour and a half, let alone longer is a long DCAM, right? So if like they do an hour and a half, essentially a 3 hour, you can pretty much cover the Long Halloween, I think, and take away the Tim Sale art style that I wasn't much of a fan of anyway. That actually might work out in my favor. So let us know what you guys think on Chizat about that. So let's hit another question at Batman Beyond Media. Thoughts on Troy Baker's Joker voice in this? So Nahuelito said, I don't speak English, so it doesn't affect him, which is interesting because the voice casts kind of don't affect foreign viewers, or I should say non-English speaking viewers. But my thought is this on Troy Baker. Actually, let's hear from some other people. We'll get to, I kind of said it before about my Troy Baker as Joker voice, but we'll get to my thoughts. I've been talking for a bit. So what excites you most about this movie? Saturday Morning Superman Show. Shout out to them. That is a podcast, as it sounds, Saturday Morning Superman Show. There's a lot of animated stuff. Honestly, seeing the continued animation style from Man of Tomorrow, and that it's an adaptation of the Long Halloween, finally. Yeah, a lot of people have wanted an animated adaptation of Long Halloween. That's been a long ask for, because again, it's very cinematic, it's very filmic. It's, you know, Batman meets The Godfather. Batman meets, not really Sopranos. It's more going for like old school mob, like, you know, city crime family, old timey crime family stuff. But yeah, it's like, so yeah, in this case, sorry, for Saturday Morning Superman Show, that's a person, that's a fan, that's a comic fan, as we talked about before in the poll, who's like wanted an adaptation of this and is now excited in that 100 percentile. And then, you know, honestly, seeing as we just talked about, the continued animation style for Man of Tomorrow. Yeah, man, I am all about that animation style. So that is kind of the reason why it's kind of funny that I don't care that it's not Tim Sale, because whatever. I don't know. at first I was kind of like, you're doing this again and you're going for a universe, but it's settling in better with me. I feel like this is their opportunity to stop doing a universe now that the DCAM is over. And especially with adaptations, I don't know how I feel about, like, if you do an adaptation, it feels like, why are you not adapting? You know, I don't know. Then again, like, if you think about Hush and you let go of like the twist and some of the stupid stuff of it, it did introduce some characters and do some stuff that contributed a bit to the DCAM, I guess. But so I could see that, like, fitting the Long Halloween could just be part of the mythos of this animated universe. And again, if you do inspired by and don't necessarily do like one for one, they even took liberties in like certain liberties, major liberties, with not doing the internal monologue of Batman in Dark Knight Returns, the two-parter. You know, the art looked amazing. It was a great, like, Bruce Timm produced, Bruce Timm adapting Frank Miller. That was gorgeous, but then there was no internal monologue. So they took big writing liberties there, you could say. Maybe they could do similar stuff with this. I mean, some of the stuff that I'm not necessarily in love with this book, I think this book, finally really sitting down, like, I kind of visited in pieces, hadn't really quite finished it. I mean, I knew the whole story, but like now really digging into it, I'm not like super in love with it, which is weird because I love mob movies and I love, like, mob content and organized crime stories and crime movies, whatever. Of course, I love Batman. I think it's good. I think it's great. Maybe I'm saying I don't understand why it's this, like, massive thing. I don't know. But I respect the hell out of it. I think Jeff Loeb's writing is amazing. And a lot of people do love Tim Sale. Like, the guy is beloved. So that could just be a, to each their own type thing. So back to questions. It appears, once again, the iconic Tim Sale Long Halloween DC Comics art is not being adapted for this movie. Thoughts on this? Good. From Nahulito.Cune. Yeah, that could be someone who also doesn't like Tim Sale's art. Which Long Halloween character are you looking forward to most at Batman Beyond Media? JMGTT2 Calendar Man. Hell yeah, me too. And once again, David Dastmalchian as Calendar Man, that worked perfectly. Like, him playing that super calm, collected. Oh, and he's also, I should have mentioned, in The Suicide Squad, which, shameless plug here on Above and Batman Beyond, the YouTube channel. We recently did a Suicide Squad trailer reaction for the Red Band trailer. And we also have an audio episode coming up with Eli. He's coming on to talk about the Green Band trailer. And then today they actually dropped a teaser of that. But David Dastmalchian is Polka Dot Man in The Suicide Squad. So yeah, had that, like, crazy kind of calm, quiet, psycho voice. You could see the guy who had the Rachel, name tag from Dark Knight that, Harvey Dent was about to kill. Speaking of Long Halloween. Oh, I just put that together. Long Halloween adaptation, Dark Knight. That's David Dastmalchian. I could totally see him playing a psycho Calendar Man. Yeah, I am very excited for Calendar Man. And I actually replied to JMGNT, who answered this question in DMs, because I was like, honestly, that's, I think, what I'm most excited for, because I love seeing the D-listers get screen time, because they're kind of the last people you would think are going to get. They're in the comics all the time, maybe thrown in there here and there. Not all the time, but they're thrown in a lot more than you're going to get in, a movie or a TV show, right? So it's dope getting the C and D listers like Calendar Man. Nahulito, again, which Long Halloween character are you most looking forward to? Catwoman and Batman. Dude, the Batsuit is totally different, and I actually like it better. Much shorter ears. I don't mind long ears. I mean, I'm a Batman Beyond fan, but just the Tim Sale, again, I think it's that exaggerated. It's gothic, so I get it, but it's like gothic inspired, you could say. And I don't know, not a Tim Sale guy. So I like what they did with this Batman. It's a nice streamline. Like, it really would fit right in with the Superman Man of Tomorrow. And I didn't think of that until reading that IGN thing today. Like, that would fit if it's a young Superman, young Batman. Oh man, young Batman, Superman. Oh man. All right, hit up the polls. Let's hit up the polls. It's America. This is a democracy. Which upcoming DC animated movie are you more pumped for? We talked before about Justice Society World War II. So the poll was, which one, Long Halloween or JS World War II? 83% Long Halloween. Now, this is what I'm going to complain to you with the, I should say, 17 percenters of JS World War II who voted for that. Like, I want original stories. And maybe it's because I'm not like, I don't come from the world of comics. I come from animation, as I always say. So like, maybe it's that, is that I don't, I love the comics, of course, but it's not my thing. And so it's, when stuff gets adapted, I mean, Hush was really the first time that I took a personal, like Dark Knight Returns even, I thought that was so good that that was hard to complain about. But this, but Hush was, whatever. This, I don't know. I'm just surprised. But hey, if you like Long Halloween, again, it is very filmic. It's written, it's a screenplay. So I could totally see that. And now that I'm seeing this trailer, and the more I talk about, again, a really good screenwriter slash comic writer meets much better art than from the book, I'm in. Let's do another Q. Which season are you most looking forward? Which season are you looking forward to most in Long Halloween? So Long Halloween is the story of the Holiday murderer. So Holiday, they call themselves, and he or she goes around Gotham and murders the Falcone crime family, the sons and daughters and nieces and all the relatives that he or she can find of the Falcone crime family, but does so through the holidays. So Valentine's Day, Christmas, St. Patrick's Day, and so each book of the story, again, it's 13 chapters, goes kind of basically month by month, season by season. And it's a really just fascinating way to kind of tell this incredibly deep insofar as like, I think it was just a really well done mystery. I'm not much of a mystery person, but it was really good. And then there's a lot of like the Dark Knight stuff, again, because Dark Knight, the movie, was inspired by that, where it's about duality. So the duality of Batman, the duality of Two-Face, how corruption in particular can drive a good man mad if you're trying to do something in the legal system, like Harvey Dent. I keep meaning to say the Carmine crime family. The Falcone crime family is so embedded in, the kind of infrastructure of Gotham. It's so corrupt that like you can't get anything done as a good guy, right? So it's about that. And all of this is being told through this, once again, murder mystery going after the Falcone crime family. And so I said in my question, which season are you looking forward to the most? So we got Halloween from JMGTT2. So yeah, so the first murder was the Halloween. And as you can tell, that plays into, maybe, I don't know if that's giving anything away. Is it giving something away? Not really. So Falcone says at one point, he goes, we've been calling this year, he says to Batman, you know what my people call this year? The Long Halloween. Because that's when the first murder was, and the first member of the crime family gets killed. And so it just has felt like it hasn't stopped, because again, it hasn't. I mean, it was an entire year of these murders. So Halloween, you're most looking forward to. What other big Batman comic titles should get animated adaptations? Yeah, so I love this question. What other big Batman comic titles should get animated adaptations. So not just DCAM, not just DC animated movies, although people do pounce on that question as well. This is specifically about Batman. So Batman Ego at Amazing Purples. You are my hero. I freaking love Batman Ego. That is, I think I said that earlier in the podcast. Like, that is my jam. Darwin Cook is my boy. And think about this. When you said that, like, Bruce Timm has to do it and would totally do it. And think about also, like, we were just talking about how the kind of surrealistic or the, exaggeration of Tim's sales style doesn't really necessarily adapt to animation per se. But like, and even someone as detailed as Jim Lee, as we said before, versus Darwin Cook, like, he is born out of animation. Like, he came up through animation and shares very much that Silver Age Bruce Timm style. Bruce Timm, as he did with Justice League New Frontier, perfectly would animate Ego. Ego is this amazing like trip through the psyche of Batman, and he's exploring, as it sounds, his ego, and it's just this amazing psychedelic, looks like Bruce Timm and Batman took acid and made this amazing comic. Check that out. From Adnan Polito, Joker War. Yeah, I haven't read any of Joker War. Again, I'm not a comic dude per se, but I am catching up. Like, Along Halloween, caught up on that. Ego, I'm in love with. Joker War, like I said, I'll catch up on that. Batman Vampire. I haven't read this either, but that would be dope. Like, just to get a dark-ass gothic Batman vampire movie. And I've been meaning to read that too because of the in fact, I think some of that coverage is right here in the YouTube channel, Above and Batman Beyond. Our coverage from New York Toy Fair 2020. And there was the Batman Vampire, I think they called it Vampire Batman, but whatever, figures from DC Direct, who unfortunately is no longer. But they did a bunch of like not obscure, but comic stuff you wouldn't get in a lot of lines in the Batman The Adventures Continue line of and I don't even know, because DC Direct is done, I don't know if that Batman Vampire figure ever even came out, but look up pictures of it. It's in the Bruce Timm style. It's really dope. And then check out, what's his name, who did the art, damn it, Ty Templeton. Thank you. Ty Templeton does the art of that and has extra designs of the Bruce Wayne from Vampire Batman. So check out at Ty Templeton on Instagram. He's got some amazing concept art. So we're going to do our final poll, and I think that was our final poll. Yes, that is it for our polls and Q&A. So now we're going to head up our commentary, our live. Not live. I shouldn't say live because I have seen it before. You have to be careful with the word live, especially when you are live. But what I mean is we're watching. You know what I'm saying. I'm going to watch a trailer and give you a live commentary of Batman Long Halloween Part 1.
I can't really be a lawyer and a criminal, can I? I want to win. But do I want to win like this?
The Mountain of Cash, totally in the comic. That's pretty dope. We see that as well in Dark Knight. It's a great way to start off the trailer too. He's like, it's again that the duality of Harvey Dent, and as you know from the story of Dark Knight, without spoiling the book or the movie, it doesn't go well for Harvey Dent, and how corruption just turned once again a good man cruel. So it's a good way to start off the trailer. It's like, are we still working for the law?
I'm of two minds here.
By the way, so Batman's look in this, and once again, I wasn't a big fan of this himself. This just straightforward, like, animated Batman with that when his cape hits the ground and just wraps around him, and then his whole cape. So basically, he just looks like this monolithic, black figure standing there, but the little zigzags of his cape sticking out, and it just makes him look so regal. And just this one, Bat-like. It's perfect.
But do I want to win like this? I'm of two minds here. So it's a coin flip.
Yeah, what do they say in the comic? Like that mountain of cash was because Bruce Wayne wasn't letting the Carmine Falcone launder his money through the Gotham City bank. At least that's what it was in the comic. This DC thing with the coin flipping, how perfect was that?
Falcone crime family has to be taken down.
Yeah, that's the name of the person. Johnny Vitti was murdered tonight. So the murder of Johnny Vitti kicks off the Halloween murder. I asked before, what was your favorite season? As Nahuelito said, Halloween. So that's what kicks off the long Halloween.
There's only room for one. Crime family has to be taken down. There's only room for one homicidal maniac in this.
And again, the whole thing's about like taking down the mob and taking down this crime family that represents the corruption of Gotham. How there's, as Affleck tells us, 20 years of Gotham, how many good guys left? But similarly here, it's like this city is so corrupt, and a crime family is a great way to represent that.
This time. What only crime family has to be taken down? There's only room for one homicidal maniac in this town.
And crime families are so endemic to the system, right? They're so like inside of everything that you need a hero like Batman to fight back. And then you need the extremism of Harvey Dent. Again, Troy Baker is just doing Mark Hamill. That doesn't excite me at all. I'm glad he can do a Mark Hamill Joker. But with those talents, it's like, and he was even pretty much doing it in Batman versus TMNT. I loved his Batman. It was a fun, very self-aware 80s inspired Batman. But then as Joker, it was like just Mark Hamill. And I don't understand why they wouldn't. It was less Mark Hamill than some of his other stuff, but I like that he can do it. I just don't need more of that. I wish that with those talents, we could get a new voice.
Why are you running?
You could use a little fun.
They really took liberties. Catwoman looks absolutely nothing like she's got like the purple suit in the book. Looks completely different. I think this look is way better. Sadly voiced, as I said before, by Naya Rivera, who died after recording this. The Batmobile looks dope.
Could use a little fun.
It's got kind of the it's got the shield on the front. What is the book? What is the book? Of course, I can't remember shit as we record. Killing Joke. It's kind of got that Batman Killing Joke shield front of a train inspired thing, but less. It doesn't really have the shape of the bat. Doesn't look like. But it's got like that train scoop thing on the front, whatever the hell you call that plow thing. Yeah, as I said before, Jensen Ackles is Batman. He's pulling it off. He's doing it. He's doing the work. It sounds like Batman. It's just a little too like, I'm Batman. It's just a little too close to that. And I think that's because I don't know how he's older, of course. Red Hood came out. Under the Red Hood, he was, as I said before, Red Hood himself. That's a Robin character. And yeah, he's 10 years older now, but I think Jensen Ackles just might have a voice that's just not like as low and deep and resonant. Like that last guy, the Batman Soul of the Dragon, that last DC animated movie, perfect. Like David Giuntoli. He's got this perfectly low, deep voice. I just think Batman's voice should be boomingly deep. This dude, Jensen Ackles is a great voice actor. I understand the casting. And also maybe it is, though, younger Batman. That's part of the long Halloween. And as we said before, part of the Superman Man of Tomorrow potential universalizing. So it could be that. Victor Racinos, hello. What's up, man? What's going on? Thank you for joining us here on YouTube. All right, so let's hit up more of this trailer.
You still haven't figured out who killed Johnny VT?
I don't know what accent that was supposed to be or who's saying that, but that doesn't sound like, I don't know who that is.
A killer who only works on holidays.
Again, Dastmalchian as Calendar Man is such inspired casting. A killer who only kills on holidays. We are going to love these Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter visits to Arkham. Oh my God, I cannot wait for that.
There's lots of crazy out there.
If this music is what's in the movie too, like this is some badass music. I really like it. Badass music. I don't know why I said it like that, but it is, man.
A killer who only works on holidays. There's lots of crazy out there.
Once I take him out, things are going to be different. We can start a family.
Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday. It's interesting getting Solomon Grundy in the story. I always thought ever since I first read the comic, like it's such a down and dirty street Batman detective noir story that like then you get the supernatural, basically immortal lost soul of the sewers of Gotham. I think that's great. I love the DC universe for that, that you're able to just do that. And I love the boldness of Jeff Loeb to do that. It ties in with the story as well. I mean, specifically the lost soul. He's very much one of the kind of forgotten of Gotham and the abandoned, if you will. So it's dope that like just this dark spirit living beneath represents just all this ugliness and weirdness and craziness, as Calendar Man just told us. There's all kinds of crazy out there.
The city has fallen, Alfred, and we must endeavor to lift it up again.
It's a cool theme too, of Long Halloween, just that the city's fallen, like the city is just rotten. That's throughout all Batman, but I think that it's good. It's cool to get it in like a mob story. This movie, or this story, I should say, the comic rolls through the roads. Like there's that one famous splash page of you got Mad Hatter in there, Two-Face, Joker, Solomon Grundy, Poison Ivy. Let me know who I'm missing, but and Victor Racinos, let us know what I'm missing here, but also let us know what you thought of Batman, the Long Halloween trailer. I wonder if we're going to get all those rogues in this. And it's good writing too, to have like there's a reason for it, and Falcone hires the rogues to, I don't want to give too much away, because this is where it's, if you haven't read the comic, you don't want to, especially with a trailer reaction, like spoil it for people who don't know the story. That's if they adapt it. This is what's interesting about adaptations. If they adapt the story, you already know what's going to happen, unless they do a twist, which, as we talked about for like Batman Gotham by Gaslight, that kind of thing. Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't want to give that detail away, but I wonder if we're going to get all those rogues is the point. So, I mean, my closing thoughts here, I'm excited, man. Again, I love the story of this. Maybe I don't love it, but I don't know. Maybe I do, and it's just the art that throws me off, and I just don't quite understand. Like, I did love the experience of reading it. I like that it's not too wordy. That's going to sound lazy, but as someone who came up through cinema and animation, and always loved Batman in those forms, like kind of still getting used to comic reading, almost getting deeper and deeper into my geekdom and earning more of my geek credit as the years go on, but like. Specifically with the books, I don't know. I just think that I don't quite understand why it's like as massive of a story as it is. Then again, when you see, live action adaptations like The Dark Knight, and you see, those themes presented in a different way. You see how powerful the themes in this book are. And there is an amazing moment about duality in this book. It is just absolutely like, I don't want to, is this giving away? There's a line to Solomon Grundy, and I'm not going to say who says it, but there's a line to Solomon Grundy, and he's just like, is it possible a man can live two lives? And I'm just like, oh, because, you know, in this movie, and then it cuts to Batman. Like, it's just so damn good, so damn cinematic. So it's like the duality of Batman. Then you have Solomon Grundy, of course, like it's his second life in some weird zombie type way. And then Two-Face throughout this book and all the Harvey Dent in this. God, that was a good line. Like, for someone to identify, once again, having this like down and dirty street level, not street level, but like down and dirty crime movie. I say street level insofar as this is not the Justice League. This is not space. Darkseid's not close to this story, right? But it's like I should say a crime story with Batman. Juxtapose that with the supernaturalism of Solomon Grundy. That, oh God, that was good. So, and again, I'm careful to not spoil, especially with this, because there's a lot of red herrings and stuff in this story. It's a mystery. It's a murder mystery. So, and I do love it for how it threw me off. Like, I really didn't see a lot of the shit coming that are in it. I'm also bad with mysteries, so maybe I'm a bad source for that or whatever. I'm excited that Tim Sale's art is not. I would have liked, again, the negative space of it. So maybe if they took liberties with the cell shaded kind of thing and combined that with some more negative space, that would have told an interesting, crime noir tale. Catwoman is totally different, but I don't care. I was not a fan so much of the Tim Sale purple cat suit. I know Tim Sale, Bat and Cat are like iconic, and there's other shorts of them, like short shot comics, and I love those. But I don't get Tim Sale. I hate to admit that, but reading the comics throughout, like Batman Rebirth and stuff, there'll be the Tim Sale covers, and I almost invariably am just always like shrugging on. Maybe I understand the appeal insofar as the simplicity of it. Again, all that negative space and that kind of thing. It's just not for me. So I'm excited that it could be, again, I started off even earlier today going like, why is it going to be the same? Why are they making a universe? Why are the universe? But then when they said, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but on IGN, when they're like, it's unknown whether Long Halloween is meant to take place in the same shared universe as Man of Tomorrow. This here, that the story revolves around a younger, less experienced Batman, that connection certainly seems possible. And again, the creative team as well. So much of the creative team is exactly the same as Man of Tomorrow. And then you have a younger, younger Batman, younger Superman. Might even be a younger Flash. Who knows, man? And then all the setup potentially with JS Dub 2, which is got to be in the same universe as well. But yeah. And then on that topic, I'm also then interested in my closing thoughts. I'll say I'm also interested to see what is next to come animation style, because I'm no longer as disappointed. Now I'm kind of intrigued by this new DC animated, the new DCAM. Ooh, it's like the new 52, but the new DCAM 2. We'll come up with better terms for it. I'm excited to hear Jack Quaid as Alberto Falcone. That's a very interesting character. I meant to mention this, but I'll say in closing thoughts right here, like Jack Quaid as Alberto Falcone. Alberto is the son of Carmine, the boss of the family, who is Marlon Brando. Again, this is straight up to Godfather. The opening of it is, his daughter's wedding and like just all this stuff, or, a female's wedding. Very much the Godfather. People are coming in asking favors, or he's doing business and stuff. There's the shades drawn and shit like that. Just a lot of the imagery is very Godfather. A lot of the story is very Godfather. But like but Alberto is this character who's a son, but he's the son that Carmine never wanted to join the crime part of the family. They're very close, but he's an MBA, Harvard MBA, master's in business of arts. So he's like super smart businessman and has all these degrees and he's legit, but his father doesn't want to involve him. But I was thinking about it when I was rereading it today. It's kind of like if Alberto Falcone is Fredo Corleone if he wasn't stupid. So Fredo wants to be part of the family classically in Godfather. In Godfather 2, they learn that, he's betrayed the family because he's not smart and always hated that Michael, his younger brother, was then, stepped in for Marlon Brando when he got shot, and then, of course, takes over after he dies and becomes Al Pacino in The Godfather. But, Fredo was stepped over. Not to say that Alberto was stepped over, but there's some interesting, Fredo stuff going on there. Jack Quaid as Alberto, though, because he's kind of like a skinny, but very smart, probably, well-spoken, but maybe a little mousy. Perfect casting, absolutely perfect casting. Huey from The Boys as Alberto Falcone. I absolutely love that. I said before, Dastmalchian as Calendar Man. I can't applaud that enough. Polka Dot Man himself. And then, we'll see about Jensen Ackles. I am disappointed, I got to say, about Troy Baker. Not because of Troy Baker. Again, it's because it's Mark Hamill. It's just someone doing Mark Hamill, and that annoys me. I just wish, and it's not just Troy Baker. If you just got Troy Baker to do a different Joker, I don't care. It's just I wish it wasn't Mark Hamill once again. And I think I'm gonna read this book again, and I do want to. The point is, again, I love The Sopranos. Sopranos is one of my favorite things in ever. It's one of my favorite things of all time. I love mob movies and stuff like that, and I love Batman. So maybe it's just the art. I'll go through the story. Maybe watch some YouTube videos that I'll go through the story of it, so I can let that sink in a little bit. And I think Long Halloween is going to grow on me as a story. So folding that into my closing thoughts of this trailer reaction, I am now getting a little more excited the more I talk about this movie. And also check out, this is the final thing. There's some gallery pictures on IGN as well. So check those out as well. Really nice high-res gallery pics of Long Halloween. All right, so that is it for our Batman The Long Halloween Part 1 trailer reaction. Before we go, Justice Society World War II coverage coming. That movie comes out April 27th on digital, and then Blu-ray comes in May, I believe. Again, that's same animation style as Man of Tomorrow. We're thinking it might all be in the same universe now as this, so that's pretty fascinating as well. The next DCAM video is going to be, so I might do another above video in between, or beyond video, I should say, in between. But the one after that's definitely going to be for Justice Society World War II. And then after that, of course, when the movie comes out somewhere around the 27th, will be my spoiler review here on the YouTube channel Above and Batman Beyond. And then the podcast, of course, DC Animated Movie Show podcast. More, of course, from Long Halloween when we learn more about that and when more content comes out. Again, Long Halloween is to drop this summer, and then Part 2 is in the fall. And then finally, the Above and Batman Beyond podcast. Check out our recent stuff, a bunch of live action stuff recently, our Suicide Squad trailer reaction, and our 2-part Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut review. There was just so much to that movie that I did one long review, and then I did another part that was let me do more walkthrough stuff where I just kind of went through chapter by chapter, because there's just so much in the movie. You can forget 4 hours epic Zack Snyder's Justice League. So once again, that's it. If you're new here at the channel, please consider subscribing on YouTube. Click that notification bell so you don't miss any of our new content. And for the podcast listeners, please subscribe to the pod. Just like the vid series, we are DC Animated Movie Show. You can find the podcast on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Again, this particular episode is available in both audio and video form, so you get to pick your poison for today's show. But again, please subscribe to both, since there's plenty of YouTube stuff you're obviously not going to find on the podcast and vice versa. Finally, follow us on Instagram. We are at DC Animated Movie Show, and follow the YouTube channel as well. We are at Batman Beyond Media. So that is it. I have been Benjamin David. And remember, animated, we stand. Almost forgot it. Let's try that again for the podcast. All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh, I love doing live editing. 3, 2, 1. So this has been Benjamin David. And remember, animated, we stand. Nice. Oh, El Colecto, what up? I didn't see your stuff. I don't remember too well the story, but it is one of the stories I wanted to see in a movie or series. I'm not sure if I have much trouble with the voices, but when you mentioned that the voice actor is just making a Mark Hamill Joker, I thought it must be hard to try to do something different. Yeah, I feel you there, but the guy's talented. Like, he can do other Joker voices. There's other versions of the Joker. I don't know. But I see what you're saying. Kind of happens with Bale's Batman. Something I'm not sure about, this is still O Collecto on YouTube. Something I'm not sure about is the character design and maybe the color palette. I don't know. I guess I have to watch the trailer again. Character design, again, we're all thinking it's that Superman Man of Tomorrow style. And I prefer it over Tim Sale myself. I could see why also, once again, like, if you're going to adapt, why not do the art? But I don't know. I like this. But yeah, watch it again. I'm going to watch the trailer a couple more times. I'm going to read the book again. I think this needs to sink in. And then El Colecto, finally, I love Jensen in Supernatural, and I have pictured him as Batman. I like that he is voicing him in this movie. Yeah, I like the idea. Believe me, I love it. It's very inspired casting. It's perfect, and it's a perfect idea. And I do kind of take back what I said, because it's a younger Batman. Again, originally I was kind of like, his voice is a little maybe high. He just doesn't have a deep resonant. But if you're doing younger Batman, Jensen Ackles, that's good casting. So gracias, El Colecto. And I'm sorry, that always happens, literally always. I'm getting better at YouTube Live, but that's okay. So once again, I have been Benjamin David. And remember, animated, we stand.